Hello friends, I am Lalita Palange. Today we will see the remaining part of the chapter number 6 of microwave tube. In the previous lecture we have covered the klystron, reflex klystron and multicavity. So in this session we will learn about the magnetron, then mode jumping, frequency pushing and pulling, and TWT. So what is mean by magnetron? So magnetron is high-powered vacuum tube that works as a self-excited microwave oscillator. Crossed electron and magnetic fields are used in the magnetron to produce the high power output required in radar equipment. The tubes, that is klystron, reflex klystron, TWT, are linear beam tubes, generally called as O tubes or original type. The other type of microwave tubes are cross-filled tubes, in which the electric and magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other. The principle of this tube in this type called as a M type in the magnetron. So here you can note the magnetron is the M type tube, whereas klystron, reflex klystron and TWT are O types of tube. Basically there are three types of the magnetron. First one is the negative resistance type. The negative resistance between two anode segments is used, that's why it's called as a negative resistance type. They have low efficiency and which is used at frequencies less than 500 megahertz. The second type is cyclotron frequency magnetron. The synchronism between the electric component and oscillating electrons is considered. It is useful for frequencies which is higher than 100 megahertz. And the last one is the traveling wave or cavity type. The interaction between electrons and rotating EM field is taken into account. High peak power oscillations are provided and which is useful in the radar applications. So this is the inner structure of the magnetron. This is the 3D 3D view of the magnetron. The construction details of the magnetron are shown in this diagram. So here you can see this circle which is consist of the anode inner circle and this outer circle which consists of the cathode, and the gap between these two it is a space, and here the cavities are connected which is called as anode cavity. So as we are using the cavities in the magnetron, so it is also called as cavity magnetron. It is a diode usually of cylindrical configuration with thicker cylindrical cathode at the center and a coaxial cylindrical block of a copper as an anode. In the anode block are cut a number of holes and slots which acts as resonant anode cavities. The space between the anode and cathode is the interaction space, and to one of the cavities is connected to a coaxial line. It is a cross-field device, as the electric field between anode and cathode is radial, whereas the magnetic field produced by a permanent magnet is axial. The permanent magnet is placed such that the magnetic lines are parallel to the vertical cathode and perpendicular to the electric field. You can observe in this diagram the permanent magnet is placed such that the magnetic lines are parallel to the vertical cathode and perpendicular to the electric field between cathode and anode. So, the cavity magnetron has 8 cavities that are tightly coupled to each other. We know in general that a n cavity tightly coupled system will have n modes of operation, each of which is uniquely characterized by a combination of frequency and phase of oscillation relative to the adjacent cavity. In addition, these modes must be self-consistent so that the total phase shift around the ring of cavity resonators is 2n pi, where n is an integer. If to understand the operation of cavity magnetron, we must first look at how the electron behave in the presence of closed electric and magnetic field. Depending on the relative strength of electric and magnetic fields, the electron emitted from the cathode and moving towards anode will traverse through the interaction as shown in the diagram, which you can see here. So you can see this diagram. So in the absence of magnetic field, that is when magnetic field B is equal to 0, the electron travels straight from anode to cathode, which is shown by this A, small a. due to the radial electric force field acting on it indicated by trajectory A. If the magnetic field strength is increased slightly for moderate value of B, means if we increase some value, that is B, then for moderate value of B, it will be exerting a lateral force bending the path of electron as shown in path B. So as we go on increasing the value of B, so it will be taking a curve shape. So if we again increase the B, then it will take the curve C. The radius of the path is given by R is equal to mv by EB. That means at one instant what will happen, the strength of the magnetic field is made sufficiently high so as to prevent the electrons from reaching to the anode as shown in path C, and those inside in the figure. The anode current becomes zero. The magnetic field required to return electron back to the cathode, just grazing the surface of the anode, is called the critical magnetic field, BC. The cutoff magnetic field. If magnetic field is made larger than critical field, that is B is greater than BC, the electron experiences a greater rotational force and may return back to cathode quite faster. All such electrons may cause backheating of cathode. This can be avoided by switching off the heater supply after commencement of oscillation. This is done to avoid fall in the emitting efficiency of the cathode. So this is what the working of the magnetron. Now we will try to understand the mode jumping of the magnetron. So the resonant mode of the magnetron are very close to each other, and there is always a possibility of mode jumping. The weaker modes have frequencies differing very little from the dominant mode, and purity of vibrations may be lost. Mode jumping hence must be avoided. A magnetron in which no effort is made to separate the dominant mode from other modes is said to be unstrapped. A method commonly employed to avoid mode jumping is known as strapping. Strapping means to connect alternate anode plates with two conducting rings of heavy gauge touching the anode's pole at the dots. as shown in this diagram B. So here alternate positive and negative signs are there, that is positive negative positive negative. This is done in order to make the 2 pi anode poles together, that is 0, 2 pi, 4 pi and 6 pi anode cavities. Strapping helps in achieving only the dominant mode. Here in this type we have pi mode in magnetron. However, strapping may cause power loss in the conducting rings. Also, at higher frequencies, it will be difficult to maintain the RF field within the interaction space, and strapping may introduce stray effect. A magnetron which needs no strapping is the rising sun magnetron. So here you can observe the diagram for the rising sun magnetron. In this diagram, here the anode cavities are designed to be dissimilar, and only the dominant mode with 2 pi phase will be effective. The adjacent cavities oscillate at widely different frequencies, and hence separation will be quite effective. So now we will see the frequency pushing and pulling. So similar to reflex klystron, it is possible to change the resonant frequency of magnetron by changing anode voltage. This process, referred to as frequency pushing, is due to the fact that the change in anode voltage result in a change in orbit velocity of electrons. This alters the rate at which the energy is transferred to anode resonators and result in change of oscillations of frequency. Magnetron is also susceptible to frequency variation due to change in load impedance. This takes place regardless of whether these load variations are purely resistive or reactive variations. However, magnetron frequency variation are more severe for reactive variations. These frequency variations are known as frequency pulling caused by load impedance variations reflected into cavity resonators. To prevent frequency pushing, a stabilized power supply is employed. Frequency pushing is prevented by using a circulator which does not allow backward flow of electromagnetic energy. It is placed before the waveguide connection at the output of the magnetron.